Good afternoon, Musketeers. It's November 16th, 2018. I'm Sarah Suchka.
And I'm Ivana Dias. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Last week was a historic one for women in Congress. Women will now hold 101 seats in the House of Representatives out of the 535 members. Currently, there are only 84 women who hold seats in the House of Representatives. The Senate will have 23 female seats, the same number as it does in the current session. Overall, there will now be more women than ever before to have seats in Congress. Even though this is a huge accomplishment for women, the population of women in Congress does not reflect the population of women in America. 51% of the population in America are women, but only about a quarter of the seats in Congress are held by women. However, this statistic is not discouraging to all women. The youngest woman ever elected to Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, tweeted, quote, "I am so thankful for every single person who contributed, amplified, and worked to establish this movement. Never forget the hard work it took to get us here. No matter what happens, this is what it takes," end quote.
Major wildfires in California have destroyed a record number of buildings and displaced more than 300,000 people. In Northern California, residents have been forced to evacuate parts of Butte County after the deadly Camp Fire broke out on November 8th and burned through the town of Paradise. It is the most destructive and deadliest wildfire in California history. The Woolsey Fire began on the same day in Southern California, and in a matter of hours it grew to engulf thousands of acres in Los Angeles and Ventura counties.
According to a new study, Ohio is the state with the most amount of bed bugs. In a list of the top 20 cities, Cleveland was number 1, Cincinnati was number 5, Columbus was number 8, and Dayton was number 10. Terminix gathered this information from October 1st, 2017 to September 30th, 2018 based on the number of services needed from Terminix towards bed bugs. Terminix says, quote, "Infestation of these pests are notoriously difficult to treat, and homeowners who suspect that bed bugs may have been introduced or found in their homes should contact a pest control professional," end quote. Some tips for stopping these bugs are laundering your clothes on high heat, sealing any compromised clothing or objects in plastic bags, and actively looking for blood spots and shed bed bug skins on your mattress.
A Whitten Terrace man is accused of selling the fentanyl-laced cocaine that killed 2 friends in Norwood. 28-year-old Antoine Relaford was arrested on November 7th on a bus in Louisville after officials said he fled Ohio. In August, 3 men and a woman bought half a gram of what they thought was cocaine from Relaford, officials said. All 4 overdosed in Norwood, and 2 of the men died. Officials would not release their names. Relaford is expected to face federal charges, including drug distribution resulting in death. A grand jury will hear the case later this month.
This weekend, the Xavier University Theater Department is putting on the play Dog Sees God, Confessions of a Teenage Blockhead, written by Bert V. Royal. The characters from the well-known comic strip Peanuts are now degenerate teenagers. Throughout the play, the beloved characters must eventually grow up and face the harsh truths of reality. This show covers issues such as drug use, suicide, sexual abuse, identity, and so on. The play opens tonight, November 16th at 7:30 in Gallagher Student Center. On Saturday, November 17th, there will be a matinee at 2 p.m. and an evening show at 7:30, and another matinee on Sunday, November 18th at 2 p.m.
All right, that's all from the news desk, people.
We'll be right back with Lucas Robbins and the Xavier Sports Report.
Hello, Musketeer fans. Welcome to the Xavier Sports Report. As always, I'm Lucas Robbins, and we will get right into it with Xavier Swimming. Currently, as we speak, the Xavier swim team is competing in the 7th ever Cleveland State Magnus Cup, where the men's team will face off against 15 different universities, and the women's team will race against 9 other schools. This 3-day event has been very successful in years past for the Musketeers, as the men's team has finished 2nd place for 4 straight years, and the women's have placed 3rd in the same amount of time. Say what you will about Xavier swimming, but they are nothing if not consistent in this tournament. Here's hoping I didn't just jinx it. In other news, the Xavier women's basketball team took on the number 25 ranked nationally, Minnesota Golden Gophers. While Xavier did lose 53-78, sophomore Ariana Gray almost had her 2nd double-double of the season with 9 points and 10 rebounds, while redshirt junior Tierra Floyd scored a team-high 10 points off the bench. The team as a whole forced 18 turnovers and converted them into 21 points, and as they were very effective all game at capitalizing on the other team's miscues. While the team has some other things to improve on, for a young squad with very little expectations heading into the year, Xavier did about as well as I would have expected this game against a nationally ranked opponent. Nevertheless, the team's positive developments on points off turnovers and the emergence of Gray has me very excited about this team's season. Xavier will next take on the undefeated Fairfield this Saturday in the Cintas Center at 2 p.m. And finally, Xavier basketball hit a bit of a rough patch since our last broadcast, as the Musketeers took on Evansville in a too close for comfort 91-85 win and fell on Wednesday to Wisconsin 68-77. It was a rough loss with some bad blood between the programs, with the memories of Wisconsin's Dagger 3 to end Xavier's March Madness run only a few years ago, and last year's J.P. McCura trolling of Wisconsin still fresh in the minds of all in attendance on Cintas that night. Heck, even a Wisconsin player mimicked JP's Gator Clap celebration from last year's game, which, by the way, I was very confused about. I mean, he trolled us for JP trolling them for losing to the Gators using the Gators trolling celebration. I don't know, it was a very confusing turn of events for trolling. Anyways, while the game didn't go Xavier's way, there were some noteworthy and highlights and performances from the game. Hanky McSpanky absolutely destroyed the rim and lived up to his name with several soul-crushing blocks on that game on his way to an 11-point, 10-rebound, and 14-point, 4-block double-double. Sophomore Najee Marshall was impossible to stop with a career-high 24 points on 67 shooting and another career-high of 13 rebounds for his first double-double of his career. And Q's shoulder looked healed with 13 points and was able to play versus the Badgers for 37 minutes. Xavier will next battle against Auburn in the Maui Jim Maui Invitational on ESPN2 Monday night at 2:30 p.m. And that'll do it for another Xavier Sports Report. I'm Lucas Robbins. Thanks for watching and have a great Thanksgiving. And as always, let's go X.